Okay. We're live now because I didn't give a warning. No, like when I said we only were live right when I said we're live now. Nothing before that, don't worry. Let's see, are my hands moving? They are moving. Wait, no one can hear you all though, so hang on and let me deal with that. I understand. Wait, no, I want that has to be broadcast. Hang on. Okay.
So anyway, we got to make camps for the Dutch.
Yeah, that just went through. We got to make camps for the Dutch was the first thing that went through.
Perfect.
It's pronounced duck, but okay.
Oh my. We're on this waterfowl shit again?
Yeah, always. Ducks are my second favorite animal.
What's your first favorite animal?
Fucking bunnies.
I didn't want to presume. For all I know, like, you are a bunny, but it's not your favorite animal. Like,
I mean,
have
that's
to
absolutely
imagine
fair.
there has to be at least one furry out there who, like, their internal dialogue is like, yeah, I guess I'm a fucking fox, whatever.
I don't like them, but I guess I am. I mean, it'd be a bit weird, but I kind of get it.
Wait,
At some,
what is going on?
I break out in hives if I even like come near a rabbit. So like I'm physically allergic to myself.
Yeah, there's that. That's why I had to go with something that doesn't actually exist, so I can't be allergic to it.
You might be allergic to it. Within
I'm
the
allergic
lore.
to my own persona.
Yeah. I mean, within the lore, maybe. I don't know. It's possible.
Your OC lore is so bad you're allergic to it.
Whoa.
Okay, I do believe I finally have my setup unfucked, and I believe people can hear both me and you and everyone else. So if anyone is in the chat listening, say hi. Tell me if other voices are coming through.
Like not right now, but like later, like now, because like now I'm talking, so then there would be other voices to be heard.
Tantru says you are ducking your self-allergy.
Yeah. Gotcha. That was stupid.
Yeah, we got Tantru and Liru. Hello. Okay, now that I've got this all out of the way, I've been a bit rusty with this, also changing hardware. Welcome to Dooming with me, Dragor. We've got Zargaz, we got Grey Foxen, and we've got our guest, Chris the Comedy Bun. Hello.
Hi.
You have put out a Christmas video, and that is what we are
did.
going to talk about for approximately this first hour. And then
Okay.
we're going to rejoin with everyone. Pepper and a bunch of other people are finishing up watching the Matrix trilogy.
That's what I heard.
And that will end like about an hour in. So hopefully more people show up in the Discord, and then we'll gather and do group shenanigans at that point.
Oh, okay.
But for now, I'm going to move us over to the live chat in case they get in early, because I don't know what they're doing, because I'm not watching Matrix Revolutions while trying to play Doom. That sounds painful. So I'm going to move us over.
That does sound painful.
Well, you could take out your Matrix frustrations on your Doom enemies.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
What up? Is it just you and I now? Are we alone?
Oh,
I am
Zargaz is
as
here
well.
too.
I usually don't say much.
Yeah, but you watched the thing I asked you to watch, and you are prepared to, at your leisure or desire, be my Jeff Peterson.
Ooh.
How
that's
do
a
you feel
sexy-
about being my gay robot sidekick, Zargaz?
Trying to remember all the catchphrases.
Balls.
Balls.
That's like early. That's the foundational part.
That's that's all he used to say, right?
Yeah. But
been so many
Chris made
Yes.
a thing. You made a Christmas special.
I did. Be my Jeff Peterson. Yes, I do. I just was thinking about that as a like a gift card, and how I really wouldn't know what to think of that if someone got me a card that just said, "Will you be my Jeff Peterson?" I'd be like, I don't think we should be friends anymore.
You're like,
I don't know
no,
what
I
that
want to
says
be
about
Craigie
our
Ferg.
relationship.
I just realized I got to do one more thing for the server, and then we'll get into this. Ah, I am sloppy today.
Balls.
What is the command? I don't remember. I did this last time, too. I am embarrassed. I'm looking up how to add bots, so we have some more people in here.
Oh, that's fair. But yeah, I did. I made a comedy special, or well, a Christmas special. It involved Christmas and ducks, actually, and rabbits. You know, a lot of the stuff. A lot of stuff we've been talking about. No Jeff Peterson, but like most of the stuff we've been talking about, really. I guess it doesn't have any doom in it.
I mean, it has doom in the sense of the mood at times.
Does it? Wow, that's fair, I suppose.
I mean, there was certainly some rough history of people in there, and kind of the... Oh, what's the word I want? I'm trying to be more fucking vocabularist than I'm capable of. See, I even had to invent a new word there to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way to... I mean, you could either sound smart or you can invent new words. Either one, you're a trendsetter. You're either a trendsetter or a genius.
Hooray! I'll take either of those options. Huzzah for me!
Right? That's how it's all about perspective.
Now, if there's one thing that I can't stand in, well, media in general, but like especially Christmas media, is that fake veneer of everyone must be happy and everything will 100% be fine and good always. Because that's not how life is, and you reflected life in yours instead of being basically toxic positivity propaganda.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I mean, the thing is, what I like most about Christmas is everyone's supposed to be dead. Because it's winter and no one's supposed to survive winter. That's like the point of all winter celebrations, is like, fuck you, God.
We're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, like, we did it, eat a dick, and then like we flip them off while we put shit on trees, and we're like, yeah, bitch. And I mean, and that's kind of like that's why I like it. That's the core of why I enjoy. I like the somberness of Christmas more than I actually like the toxic positivity. But in the sense, what I like is that people create that toxic positivity in the environment of that somberness, because it is meant to be. It is such an overreaction to the reality of the surrounding world.
Yeah.
But yeah, like and to be entirely fair, it technically didn't start out as a Christmas special.
Well,
it was like a normal.
Like, when did you start it? Like when of every piece that's has origin, how far back does it go?
Technically that probably that goes back only a couple of months, really. Probably like November conceptually. Like I was like, I want to write something that's a little more I wanted to write something that's a little more, I guess, technically lore heavy, because I do have lore for all these characters. Like I have whole story arcs like plotted out for all these characters, and I have histories for all of these characters in an excessive amount, like I think many creative people do. But I just kind of use them to tell one-liners a lot of the, just jokes or things a lot of the time. And I was like, well, I mean, I can squeak it in there a little bit here and there. And then I was like, and I was trying to figure out how to like do something a little more oriented to that. And the first conception of it had was mostly just lore. And I was like, this isn't very good. And then I was thinking about how much I really wanted to do something for Christmas, because I like doing something for Christmas. I've done it the last like 3 years. It varies in quality, but like, like 2 years ago I made a video talking about my favorite Christmas song. Another year I just made a really quick video breaking down why I love all of the other reindeer. And so like I wanted to do something, And so I was like, okay, well, like, if I just change it to just, like, instead of Chris, like, bringing a cat home for no reason and just made it a Christmas present, that works. And so, like, I just kind of glued some Christmas shit to it, and it worked. Like, it made the whole thing work a lot better.
You changed, if I'm going with some lingo that I have heard other creative people talk about, especially comics, you changed the framing device.
Yeah, that's really what it came down to, and it made everything feel a lot more natural. It because it is a Christmas special, there can be people are more, I guess, willing to accept a sense of like schmaltziness and a story and like a story being told, kind of.
Yeah.
And I was like, because like for a hot minute it was just like, man, Track's just talking just talking so much about history. And of course I also shaved it down a little bit and cut out a lot of the fat, because you gotta do passes. I'm getting better at doing passes at my work.
Yeah.
Because it's, I mean, not that I wasn't aware that needed to happen before, but it was more so a case of like, I never gave myself the time to do it before.
Sure. Like picking what you are and are not going to do for any given project is part of the process of a project.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then especially the other hard portion of it of, you think you're going to do something for the project and then it keeps not happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and like one of the craziest parts about that is like just how much, like, people, you don't think about it because a lot of people do, there's a lot of procrastination that goes into that sort of thing, but like it is really good to just like write a script, or basically write a version of the script and then like wait, like just give it like a day or two and then go back through it, and you will have a way better understanding of like, oh, that joke doesn't work, or that joke does work, or oh, there's a way better way to get through here. Like, and it's dumb because it's something that like so many people mention, but it's a thing that so few people actually like follow through with and do.
Yeah, distance to just the you that has just made it is technically a different you that has distance from it, in like a quite literal sense. So that's just why mechanically it's a practice. Yeah, we all should be in it.
Yeah, you got to give yourself a little bit more time. And like, you tend to not want to, because again, it's this idea that like you got to get it out now, and like you want to get that part done. But like you can still do other parts in the meantime, and it can help.
At what point, because I know you've been working on it a little bit longer than this, I believe, when did you know you were going to be doing a lot of the small sets for it?
Oh, well, that was one of the big things, because like when I initially conceptualized it, I was like, well, I don't want it in the basement, because even in the very first version of it, I needed Track like showing up. So I'm like, I guess it's gonna be in the living room. And I was like, but I haven't made the living room set yet. And I was like, well, I have to make it at some point. And then I did.
I saw some of the in progress stuff both you showed me and then also tweeted, and it was cool to see it from like, here's this thing literally being made, and now I watched the final product, and that was cool.
Yeah. It really was a case of like, well, and in that context, it was like, I really had no idea if it was gonna work the whole time. It was literally until like the last edit that I was like, I think this is shit. I'm not 100%. And then I finally got like I really got to the last edit, and I was like, oh, okay, this is working. This is actually working a little bit. That's neat. And what was really happening was I was feeling the limitations of my of my computer, the age of my computer. Because it was getting to the point where, like, it was crashing every 5 seconds, and I was like, oh, that's not good. But it also meant I had to like compromise on a few things that I didn't want to do. Like, I have way higher quality images for the like photos and stuff I used for the background, but I had to compromise for a slightly more compressed version just because otherwise there was no way I was going to be able to edit it.
Right.
Which is a bummer, but like it still all works out, you know, because it is technically a background.
Do you think you're gonna make a pass later, or you did it, you're done with it, and it's just gonna stand as an artifact as it is now?
I mean, I think it'll probably be an artifact as it is now. I mean, obviously there's more chances to make more things. Right now, the biggest thing is I wanted to get it. I got kind of like I said, I was like, I guess I'm doing a Christmas special at like the beginning of December, and I was like, well, I got to get that out by the end of December, so it kind of consumed 90% of my life for the month. Because I was starting from like literal scratch. But like if I wanted to make another one, now I have a Christmas tree set and things like that, so I can do something. I'd have a little more freedom to do something slightly different, I guess. Which that would be kind of where I would want to do it, because I don't like the idea of trying to like. I mean, I guess if I were remastering it, I don't feel like I didn't get what I wanted out of it, I guess would be the way to put it. Like, it told the story I wanted it to tell. It felt complete in that sense. And so I don't really feel like I need to readdress it, but I can address the stuff in it and use it for future projects and tell cool stories that will do even more there, I guess would be the way to put it.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. It absolutely does. It was just more of a curiosity of like where you're at with it, because I think the whole thing was a success. So like,
yeah. Like I said, I'm very happy with it, how it came out as its own entity. I don't feel like I didn't get it. I didn't convey the message. No one was like, wait, so that was about Palestine? And I'm like, oh no. No, that's not right at all. So like, I don't feel like I needed to like readdress anything. At least as far as I can tell. If someone did think it was about Palestine, feel free to DM me and I'll correct you. Or I want to hear your logic, because that sounds fascinating. How you found those hoops and jumped through them. But like,
yeah, you want to hear what they have to say, but not for the reason they want to tell it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, like it's a matter of like, I'm happy with it, and so I'm excited to move on to other projects, and again take everything I learned from each project, and eventually sometime I'll make something that I'm actually like, whoa, this is cool, and not like, I hope this is cool. Because thus far I'm up to, oh god, I hope this is cool.
I think before it went very, very, very well.
Yeah. Before it was, there's no way this is going to be cool. Now I'm up to, I hope this is cool. So maybe one day I'll get to something that says, whoa, this is kind of cool.
With the sets, were there any unforeseen hurdles? Like, I don't think you had made this many small scale sets up to that point, or have you before?
Well, no, this is more me, it's not that I've made other scale sets that are of, similar size or similar size, but not of similar quality. So like this one, I had the door. I made that door, and I made that door, and I do not like the way that door looks, but I lived with it. I made that door at like 3 a.m. one night, and I finished it, and I looked at it, and I was like, God, I shouldn't be crafting right now. Like, I really was just not giving any shits. And so it kind of came out looking like shit, but like, a little bit, not too many, because I was just using a lot of the same crafting materials that I was beforehand. I guess one of the biggest hurdles I came up with was, it was very late into the process, but like my roommate goes, oh man, you should have probably, because what it is, I made them diorama style, so they're, it's floor and back wall, but I have them sharing like one of it's 3 separate sets that all share corners, but the problem is that means the floors kind of overlap on each other, and like you don't totally notice it, Yeah, like you don't really notice it in the shots I used, but that's because they're mostly torso up shots, so you don't really see the ground very much. And I kind of, shot around it as just a reality. But like, certainly if there were certain angles that I could not have used because you would have seen like the lip, and you would have been like, wow, that couch is just like lopsided.
Oh no.
And so I was like, looking at it, and I was like, huh. And my roommate walks by and he goes, man, you should have made the floor as its own piece and then just made the walls. And I go, well, yeah, thanks. Now that I'm like elbow deep, I get that now. So it was a case of like, well, yep, that's how that should have worked, but we're here
Future
now.
sets.
Well,
Future sets will.
Yep, I know that now. Well, we'll know that now. And yeah, because normally I don't do flooring, but that's just because I have a table that I tend to shoot on that has like a finished wood look that more or less just creates the illusion of just like a weird finished wood or like a vinyl wood cover for the basement that I have, or for the basements that I shoot on. So like it's not usually that big of a deal. But in this case, I was like, well, I want it to have carpet, but I didn't have any actual carpet, so I wound up cutting up a bunch of socks and making carpet out of socks. Because the inside of carpet has a fuzz to it that kind of has that like cheap carpet texture. And so that's what I was going for. So I got that, and it looks fine. It's a little dark because it's like black, but like, what are you gonna do? But in doing so, it did wind up, like I said, I was like, well, now I know I can make different floors later. But other than that, there weren't too many, like I said, it wasn't so many challenges as, I ran into challenges before, and I actually got to use the stuff I learned on this set to make something that looked a lot nicer.
What's the best one you got to pull out?
What would it be?
Freezing.
Honestly, priming. I think priming was, I got way better at priming stuff, which allowed me to create things. I did realize I was gonna have to make a curtain at some point for the curtains in the background, and I was like, fuck, I don't know how to. I was like, I don't want to make curtains. That sounds like so much fucking work. And then I found an old dice bag, and I was like, wait, that has a drawstring in it. Wait a minute, and I cut it up and made curtains out of it.
Nice.
And I was like, fucking, that was perfect. I feel like a god.
See, that stuff is
happy.
also endearing to me, right? Like, you're in this medium, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, it's my whole, again, it stems from, poverty and like sadness. Also my favorite podcast. But
what's your favorite
Poverty
podcast? I don't quite.
Poverty and Sadness. No, it's a bit.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, that's the bit. But like, no, it stems from like poverty and sadness and lack of resources. But I do genuinely enjoy like taking garbage and making something out of it,
Yes.
And that's so that is why a lot of what I use is like recycled materials that like I just find around, because like, yeah, I could go out and buy, a lot of half of these materials and they would look good as well, but like that, to me, that doesn't quite scratch the itch I'm looking for, I guess. Like I said, I like the garbage energy to it.
I know you're calling it garbage, and it is still endearing and all of that, but like, I don't know, from a legit I'm a scout perspective, if something is going to be trash and could instead be used elsewhere, like that's a thing to be celebrated, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, okay, garbage does sound degrading. I didn't necessarily mean it to be degrading as much as I just meant like that's an old cardboard box from like the place I like, a lot of the resources I find at my day job where I clean, and I clean a factory and an office. So people are throwing out cardboard boxes, old random like chopsticks and stuff, and I'm like, all right, time to boil these and cook them and make them disinfected, and then you have them,
Yes.
Or like people are just throwing away weird plastic containers or old computer parts or whatever it might be. So like it's literally I'm pulling it out of a garbage. So it is a matter of like me going, like cleaning and going, that looks like it could be part of a wall, and just like taking it.
I mean, you are technically living the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory scene.
Oh yeah. That's right.
And like that's, you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
I like
No,
it. As someone who
Oh, no, I
keeps
like
way
it too.
too much stuff that is objectively trash, my denial is to not call it trash.
Oh, I get it. Like I said, it's unused materials for.
It has
future...
potential, damn it. This is the
Yeah.
Angels. I feed off of this shit's unused potential.
It does. It has potential. And like I said, it all feeds back to me back when I was a kid and I used to build actual forts out of trash, like actual like full-sized forts out of trash in like my backyard and shit. And then like I remember specifically my stepdad, who is a very handy dude, was like, I'm gonna build you a treehouse because you always like having forts. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then he did, and like he put a lot of effort into making a decent treehouse, but like I was like, it wasn't good. Like I didn't really like it, and he was like pissed at me for not liking it. I was like, yeah, but I like mine because I made it out of literal found garbage. Like all the nails were all the nails I personally made into individual nails because I found a nail gun, like a couple of nail gun feeding rolls that someone had thrown away in the forest, and I unclipped each one of them.
That is,
You know?
that is some
So
dedication.
Yeah, like I said, there was a personal touch to it, that I really enjoyed. Or like how we didn't have a shovel, but I found the head of a shovel, and I used it as a hand shovel to dig out the basement, or to dig out the hole to give myself a higher basement, and stuff like that. So like it's all the actual, like I said, that's how I do it personally. I don't know how to use clean material. I'm a garbage creature.
I don't know how to use clean material, so I fucking swear.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. But no, it's very true. I do not understand how to like. It's a case of like whenever someone takes me nice, I'm like, I'm a swamp monster. You don't want me here.
Let's see. What was the last time I got to take you somewhere nice? Oh, right. It was after you helped me move a bunch of heavy shit.
Oh, I
And
remember that.
oh
Yeah.
my god! All right, to be fair, we showed up blasted.
Yeah, I was
But,
very stoned.
There was a server working the place that looked very similar to, I don't even remember who.
Was it Green Day? He looked like he looked like the lead singer of Green Day.
yes. Oh, and you kept calling him Green Day, and I was like starting to get really fucking freaked out because I'm like,
I did, 'cause
he's right there. He can hear you.
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit, it's Green Day. Like I was just calling him Green Day because I couldn't even remember the fucking performer's name. So I'm just like, shit, it's
And
Green
I'm
Day.
sitting there going like, I'm gonna take Chris to somewhere nice that I like, and we'll have a good time. And I'm like, I can't show my face here ever again.
I was like, dude, this is fucking... Well, because he had like the loose collar from like
He
American
did.
Idiot. Like
He did.
And I'm just like, shit, dude, Green. I was like, don't want to be... Like, he was like, how's you guys' dinner? And I'm like, don't want to be an American.
I wanted to die.
It really got me every time. It was terrible. I felt really bad afterward, but like it was true.
You could not stop yourself. Well, and then
like,
go ahead.
who was the other guy? Because like
There were two.
Yeah, because there was our server was Green Day, and I think the other dude was Bowling for Soup. Like, because the actual like bartender looked like the lead dude from Bowling for Soup, and I was like, oh my god, why is every fucking 2000s band here? Is this where they all went?
That was quite an adventure.
It's true. And then I do remember when I opened the menu and I looked at everything, I was like, that's so much money, are we allowed to?
And I'm like, yes.
It's fine. And I'm like, okay.
I remind people, like, I ain't rich, but I am a programmer in Chicago. So once in a while I can do that, and it's fine.
Yep, that was a good day. Well, because like I said, when you said you were going to feed me for helping you move, I've done that before, but 90% of the time when that happens, they're like, we ordered pizza and it's there. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that scans. But like it was like I'm gonna feed you for helping me move, and then I'm like, whoa, I don't belong here. I'm a little garbage animal.
No, that's incorrect. Every human can have that quality of food. It is only capitalism that fucking makes it unobtainable.
Oh, you're not wrong. I don't disagree with you, like intellectually.
Like,
but
and
living
if anything,
in capitalism gets
okay.
you.
So every so often, this is one of the things that is fun to do. So what does everyone say? When you go to a car dealership, dress down, and then if they treat you poorly, then fucking leave. And if they get you to stay, you've got the upper hand, all that jazz. Okay, fine. Do that with nice restaurants, because no one really enforces dress codes anymore. Once in a while, a place does, and usually they are like a small local-owned, we are trying to cultivate a mood thing. But even then, like,
Yeah.
I would support that more if it was, well, it's Ren Fair night, so like, please only show up if you've got a Ren Fair costume.
It would be, well, that's the thing. I would support it more if it were, if the theme weren't classism.
Be bougie.
Like,
yeah. If it was, if it was class-based
class
in that I'm a
warfare.
barbarian and you're a druid, okay.
Yeah. Like that would be, that's the cool classism. I don't like, yeah, I can live with high fantasy classism. But that's exactly it. If the dress code were like, this is a ninja themed thing, everyone has to show up dressed like a ninja, that might be appropriative. But still, like, I'd be like, okay, at least we're trying to remain on theme. It'd be like a lot of work, but like, okay. There's a bar comedy club type thing in I think it's in Milwaukee called like the Secret Spot or the
The safe
the
house.
hideout.
I have
Yeah.
been there.
Oh, you've been there? Did you have to dance like a chicken?
It's trashy and it's like overpriced for what it is, but it's also a hell of a lot of fun. And if
It is a lot of fun.
and
It has
like
its
that's
gimmick.
yes, gimmicks. Give me more gimmicks in all aspects of life.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I appreciate they commit to the gimmick, I guess would be the good way to put it.
They do
You know?
okay. Like once you're in there and then it's not
Yeah.
as committed because fundamentally all of the people being paid to work in there aren't paid enough to give themselves to it.
Yeah, they aren't paid enough to actually give a shit. Is the truth.
Like if this was Star Trek and we chose to put on a tavern because we want a D&D tavern, like
Yeah,
it's going
yeah.
to be out of this fucking world because we all want to do it and it's not our livelihood depending on it. It's just you want to go role play for like 3 months as a tavern owner? Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Well, like I said, you'd be doing dope shit for the sake of doing dope shit. Like it would
Yes.
just be because you want to. It's not because you have to. Your agency is still respected, which is the key.
Speaking of doing shit because you want to and not because you have to, I had more questions.
Oh, yeah, go
Speaking
for
of, we never got to talking about the actual recording process.
Oh yes, feel free. Whatever you want to know.
Well, I mean, in general, you had primarily the 3, if you're counting the cat, 4 parts.
Yep.
And so, was there a particular order? Like, how did you structure? Like, did you do a pass for each one? Were you voice switching?
I found that my best friend is to just do the script for each character, since I voice all the characters because I can't afford to pay someone a fair wage to do voices. So I just kind of started doing it myself. But yeah, I do a pass for each individual character. So like I'll go through, I'll read all of Chris's lines. I might dry read the person's lines so I can get an immediate sense of response. But like I try not to do full voice switching just because when I noticed when I was trying to do that, everyone started getting tracks accent or like everyone started sounding more like Jay's delivery of things, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm losing my own sense of, I'm losing each individual identity. So I like I said, I just do a pass for each one, then I go through, then I will I'll edit that down. I tend to do 2 or 3 takes of most lines, or if it's like a joke line, I tend to do 2 will do 2 or 3 takes, just so I have something to work with. And And then of course I go as I'm editing the final product. I'll be like, oh, I might need a little bit more here, and then I make notes of what I need for pickups.
How are you doing the segmentation to then line everything up? So like you end up with one track per character. What do you do next?
I end up with the one track. I master it. I then export it out of. I just use Audacity. I mean, it's not the greatest thing, but I'm also just recording super basic lines. Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm not recording music, so it's you don't necessarily need to use anything more fancy than Audacity. Even then, it's pretty just universally decent for what you're doing. But like, I get my final line. I export it out after it's been touched up and done the post stuff that needs to happen to it. And then after that, I bring it into Premiere Pro, which is the video editing software I use. And then I just chop it. And then I have all four of, I have like the however many, in this case it's 4 tracks, but I use however many characters. And I just build an audio timeline of the video. So I'm like, track says this. I have a copy of the script over here. I go, okay, that was track's line, then Jay's line, then Chris's line, then track, then Jay, then Chris. Yeah.
So like you're doing among the 4 tracks, you're splicing and putting it together as you go.
Yeah. I'm kind of, like I said, I have the 4 master tracks of each character's dialogue open. And since I record them in order, so I record all their lines sequentially would be the right word.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's pretty easy because it's just chop. You're basically chopping one. You're taking 1 from each person, then 2 from each person. You're just going down the list. For the most part, the occasional swap is there for like if I needed weird takes or if I just did a weird cut or something. But that's usually not too much of an issue. And if it is, if there's something weird, I'm only inconveniencing myself. I'm not giving it to an editor who's going to be stuck doing it for 4 years and doesn't get to see their wife or something.
Have you looked into like any potential automation options that would help?
To some degree, yeah. With the actual video editing process, just the way I learned how to edit audio, the way I learned how to edit video and audio, it's automations would be I would be weird to automate that necessarily, but it's possible.
I guess like if you're doing recording and you were able to time your line readings and pauses such that like you could use an auto splitter, so everything's already for the most part chunked with a little bit of lead time for silence to trim, and then when you're like sequencing things, everything's already split.
I mean, that definitely could work as a potential option. I've never necessarily thought about doing it that way, just because of the way like I said, because I do record safety. I do record 1 or 2 safety versions of each line. I then have to go back through anyways and listen to all of them to see which one of the line reads I like the most.
Right.
So it'd be like, well, so at that point it would, but having it technically chunked out wouldn't be a terrible option either. It's cutting out a lot. Well, the thing that really gets my goat, which I have gotten better at finding ways to cut it down. Also, my performance has gotten better, is my micro breaths. But you get better at doing that when you record more audio. You don't go as many little catches in your own voice, so you don't have to. So you're just not cutting out as many.
Because that's more editing work too.
Yeah, when I was in college, I did one of my final projects for my like audio 101 class was edited. My teacher recorded himself reading the Silmarillion, like a couple of chapters of the Silmarillion, and he read it basically like someone he gave us like the shittiest reader possible, like, because he did audio editing forever and a day, so he basically was like, every possible annoying bullshit thing you're gonna get from a client I'm gonna do. And so his whole thing is, he licks his lips, he drops a lot of ums, he does the micro breaths, he immediately picks right back up after flubbing a line, so there's no real, so like you got to find a way to find the good line read without running into another one of his. Yeah, so like he did all of just the minor fucking annoyances that you're gonna run into in a real world scenario. And that was the hard option, because he gave 3 final project options. One was easy, and it was just like editing down it was editing like 3 songs or something, like doing some really basic master editing on like some vocals. And then like medium difficulty, you had to do 2 of it, but it was like, oh gosh, what was that one? I think that was just like editing the audio of like a board meeting. So it doesn't have to sound perfect. It just has to time well and it just has to hit a certain time. And then the hard one was just you only had to do one thing, but it was, 2 chapters of the Silmarillion read by the worst book reader ever.
And it's the Silmarillion.
That was the other thing. It's boring as shit. It's technically boring as hell. But yeah, it was a lot of like, and then the Silmarils were... sorry, and then the Sumeril, and you're like, I'm going to shoot someone in the head. It was afterward. I remember coming into class the next day, and he said something, and I was like, I don't want to hear your voice. Can I not be here for the day? Because I've been editing your voice all fucking night, and I want to kill you.
Did he laugh?
Yeah, he laughed real hard.
Because like he understands.
Oh yeah, he was really cool. I loved that dude. He was amazing. He was so understanding, beyond belief. He's a very cool dude. He was the one who gave me a really cool copy of. He used Ren and Stimpy for his Foley section of Audio 101, which was really cool. Yeah, he would just listen to Ren and Stimpy, and he would talk about the importance of Foley and how Foley works and how you can use it in comedy and stuff like that. And we would just chat. He also he also ran the school or the college's what the hell was it, radio station. So like yeah, so like he was there. There was a lot of just like time. He was just in the audio room, and so we would just hang out and chat because he wasn't doing anything else.
Oh hey, we have a Pepper in the chat. Hello, Pepper.
What's up, Pep?
Pepper, go fire up some Doom and play with us. We're wrapping up a little bit more. I got a couple of more questions about the Christmas video. The Christmas video. The Christmas special. Ho 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 ho. It's hilarious because it's wordplay. I'm taking Christ. Are you on the same version of Premiere that I use? The CS6 version that you can acquire from the internet? I was actually for a while. I'm actually on CC, a CC rip, I think from 2017. Oh shit, you're like way newer than what I'm using. Yeah, that you can Sea Thief a copy of if you want. Yeah. That's fucking great. I know I've heard that before, but that's still, I'm glad that's back. Right, I like using it though. I just like using it that way. It covers all the bases. But yeah, I use it's a copy of CC I found because for some reason my other one wasn't working well, so I was like, oh, screw you. The only thing that sucks is specifically the CC version of After Effects that I found. It itself works fine, but if it's open for too long, it starts trying. You get a little notification that says, "Hey, this isn't real. Do you want to fix that?" And then what you do is you just go in Task Manager and close that, and then you close the little secret program it runs in the background to check. Yeah. And you're like, nope, and then it's like, okay, fine. Yeah. All I need to do is just find a new DLL that's updated, but I just haven't gone about and done it yet because my whole computer's a mess right now. Because I just like cleaning your real house, cleaning your digital house is a lot of work. When you sat down to like do the Premiere stuff, what was already done, so like you knew what you had to film, so I imagine when it came time after you were done with the sets, you had your shot list of some kind.
Roughly, yeah. I mean, you look at it and you go, well, for me in particular, because what I'm doing isn't, I mean, it's animation, but it's not like full animation. So you're in this weird position where it's like you want to you want to go through and you go, okay, these are definitely the shots I'm gonna need, and technically they're just a background because like the shots themselves aren't doing anything. So like those ones are the easy ones, but then you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this particular angle. How am I gonna do that angle? Because like, you know, I have to find a way to invent that angle, and make it look good. And also it's a still, and we're gonna be cutting to that angle. So you kind of just like, you get your shot list. You get your shot Christmas list would be a good way to put it, and then you see what Santa Claus can actually bring you.
I love it.
Once you go in and you start like working with it, you're like, okay, that's kind of right. Because also when you're filming, you're taking a full shot, but you have to remember that like you're a lot more zoomed in when you're using that character, when you're actually on the character for like the final product. Because like if you like any of the shots that I use in the actual video, the full versions of them are like way farther back. Like they're pulled much farther back. So there's some optical zooming that goes into it. Some digital optical zooming that goes into it. Because that's what would go into an actual for real set. You know what I mean? Yes. Like that's how you would actually manage a camera in that sense. And then I just followed your general rules of 180 because a lot of my stuff is just back and forth dialogue. So it is just a lot of like da 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 da. But in my, not even just this video, but the video before that, I've been doing some more interesting angles and adding a little more motion into the background and finding ways to trick it using a technique I read about when I was reading about how comics are designed, and you just use the motion in the between the panels, or you use the motion in the margin is what it's referred to as.
So like what does that specifically mean?
Okay, so when you design comics, when you're looking at a comics or a sequence of animation or a sequence of movement. So like if someone's punching someone, they might be ready to punch someone in the one frame, and then the next frame it's them they've already been punched and there's blood splattering. So your brain goes, okay, so those were your key moments. The small microsecond it takes you to go between the margins of those two frames in a comic panel, you filled in the motion with your brain. Your brain's
right.
Like, okay, because they were because it was such a simple sequential process, you're like, oh, that's what happened. And so I'm using a similar technique with my work. Like, for example, when Track opens the door, you hear the door open. The door is actually on screen and then it just opens and you hear it. But like when Track closes the door, you hear the door closing while someone else is on screen, but it allows me not to have to actually, have a full animated shot of the door closing. Your brain goes, I heard the door close. So now that the shot is Track behind a closed door, it makes sense in sequence. And you're like, okay, so then you just assumed the door was closed.
Interesting.
Which is also an editing technique too. That's part of sound design and Foley work. But like that's all part of that process of using the motion you don't see, because your brains are really good at making stuff up. Like,
yeah,
really
they
good
are.
at it.
Have you met
They're amazing
QAnon?
at it. Yeah, like I said, it's fucking brains are great. We have, as human beings, the one thing we have above all else is our ability to lie to ourselves. and the positive version of that is imagination. The negative version of that is also a form of imagination, but it is lying. But both of them are lying. So, like, it allowed us to go, there might be a tiger in the bushes. We should prepare for a tiger being in the bushes, because that's happened before. So there might be one again. So we conceptualized the idea of a tiger being in the bushes, and we got good at it. And so our imaginations are a really powerful tool. It's just finding ways to make use of it in little ways. So you're not asking so much of the audience that they're like, well, fuck, I can just imagine a thing. Like I can play pretend. I don't need your help. But if you find ways to lead the audience's imagination, it allows everyone to have a little more fun, because then they get to use a little bit of their imagination, but you also get to tell a story without having the money or the skill to fully pay a team of animators to do the thing you want to do. But it's why it is why things like stop motion and paper puppetry and stuff like that still are insanely effective to this day as presentational techniques.
We're still wired for it, which is what's pretty great.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's overall a good thing that even though we've got cool, fantastic ways of using technology, so you don't have to. Like, there's something to be said that what someone has dreamed in their mind, they can say, yes, that is what I thought up, and now I know you are seeing what I see. Like, that's cool, but it's not a requirement.
Oh, no, not at all. Well, and like I said, and sometimes it can be detrimental. Like I said, there's the argument often used in often talked about in the Saw franchise, or at least in Saw movie discussions, how the first movie used primarily off camera torture. Yeah. And it was mostly just sound design to create a sense of what was going on, to create a sense of unease, and your brain gets to fill in the blanks. And there's nothing more terrifying to you than what your brain can come up with. Hands down. That is just a proven fact.
Oh yeah.
No one can tell a scarier story to you than you. And so letting your brain invent the monster that you never fully get to see, or you get really small glimpses of in shadowy shots. While a lot of the time that was brought about because of a limitation of resources, it is also a technique to better terrify the audience, because part of it falls onto them to be like, oh God, it's like a dragon, or is it like a cat, or is it like a puma? And it's more terrifying to you because you're more afraid of X, Y, or Z.
A puma? You mean a warthog?
Sure. You're right.
For all the red versus blue fans out there.
Yep. And so, like I said, it's that's a big factor. But yeah, you're not wrong, because like I said later,
says Jaws as being like the big, not only the first blockbuster, but utilizing the. How much do you actually see the goddamn shark?
Oh, yeah. Well, and Jaws in general, I mean, I'm not even that big of a fan of Jaws. Like, it's a fine enough movie. But Jaws has done, and I was just talking about this with someone else, Jaws has done an insane amount, the impact of Jaws and its existence, or what it's done for the American cinema landscape is unprecedented.
Oh, nice.
It is insane how much it's affected the American landscape, just because of how effective the movie was for every reason under the sun.
All right. I do like Jaws, but there's like two more things I wanted to ask about.
Go for it. Yeah, sorry. I will talk forever about
it's okay.
A lot of things.
Don't get me wrong, I like Jaws, but I want to talk about your new thing.
I like Jaws, but
I want to talk about the thing
made.
that didn't exist before you made it.
That's
true.
That is true.
In part for that is, all right, so you're in Premiere, you're slotting everything, you're doing all of the tweaks. Is there a line that is different where you're going, okay, I'm not so much doing the slotting and arrangement tweaks as I'm doing the final polish? Or is it at some point you just kind of know you're done? Or did you have like a deadline show up and say, well, whether I like it or not, I got to finish and put it out?
A little bit of all three there. It really that kind of falls down to each individual problem. There were definitely having a deadline for me personally is kind of a not a needed thing, but it does help, because it goes, okay, I need this to look acceptable to me before this date. And so regardless of what's happening, I'm going to have to accept what happens at the end of this. So let's see. And in doing that, it allows me to, I am able to be like, okay, this is to a degree that I can live with it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep trying to make it look nicer and look nicer. And in a lot of cases, I will overcook it, as I like to refer to it. I think a lot of people say that. But yeah, like I said, I will overcook it. And you go, ooh, okay, you might have tried a little too hard, and now everything just looks weird and wonky and chunky.
What was the story in particular for a Christmas story?
In a Christmas story, I did have the deadline of wanting to get it out by Christmas Eve, because obviously it's tied to the Christmas environment. But there was a lot of like, okay, I kind of had specific ideas in mind. For example, I wanted the flashback to feel like a flashback, but I didn't want it to feel boring. I wanted it to feel like a natural transition between those, between the conversation that was happening conversation that was happening in the present, and then Track talking about her past. And so I put a lot of effort into making sure that felt natural, and felt at least somewhat professional, I guess would be the way to put it.
Yeah.
Without it just feeling like hard cuts between these two ideas, and people would go, okay, I get what you're going for. I wanted people to not have to think about the idea that this is what I get what you're going for.
Yes.
I wanted people to just feel it, because that's what I was going for. So like that was one that I put a lot of effort into, like, this isn't fucking, I'm canceling this unless this is gonna do what I want it to do.
Yeah, you know at least a minimum threshold of what you're aiming for. And you're not doing a perfectionist thing. You're making an artistic integrity call of what you think works and what doesn't.
Yeah, well, like I said, I wanted those things to work. I was like, the brunt of the story is about how we got to the present. If the flashback does not do that well, then we're fucked. The whole point of the video is kind of nil. So that was kind of my, like I said, so I was like, this is kind of the impetus of the video. I want it to feel that way. I didn't have the theme of the video, because, which can feel a little weird, because, like, I don't set out necessarily when I write something, I don't set it out to, like, go, okay, I want this to be the story of how people deal with, loss, or how people handle bullying, because that is never, like, that doesn't quite work for me. But I do, to some degree, I was watching it and I'm like, okay, so like this is kind of what's going on here. And when I kind of figured out the through line of what I wrote, or of what I wound up writing, and I go, oh, okay, so it's kind of like, there's actually a lot about Chris, like, overstepping and, like, getting too involved a lot of the time, and, like, how it can be good and bad. Okay, cool. So then I was like, I want the whole thing then to kind of feel that way. And so I went through, so I made quite a few passes to make sure that came through as well. That when I kind of had that as, like, in my brain, I was like, oh, okay. And then I went through and go, okay, so let's tweak a few of these things, maybe change a line, and that's what I was talking about with those pickups.
Yeah.
To make all of that kind of to make that delivery feel a little more natural and, less disjointed. And then you smudge it all together. And you're like, okay, here's the 6 different versions of the thing I've made. We're just gonna smush it all together. So hopefully no one sees the seams.
Well, I think it turned out great. It came out in time. I hope you are proud of what you made. Like,
I'm definitely proud of what I made.
The thing I always say is, part of why I want to get the new fursuit, because cons are back, is I want more, like, explicitly furry stuff. I want more of that. There's enough regular meat space things, so if I'm going to do a thing, it might as well be furry. And I like that you made a thing that is also a furry thing, and, like, it's just part of its DNA. I don't know. I feel like I'm old enough to remember how furry's been treated by the masses before, compared to the last 10 years. So to see a thing that you made that's also a furry thing that I have shown to a couple non-furry people, and they go, "Oh, yeah." Like, it's just accepted. It's there. It's not, is this, well, that was cute, but why is it furry shit? Like, that's not there.
Yeah. Well, they're like, okay, so they're just animal people. And you just kind of roll with it.
They don't even, it's not even like, that it's animal people. They just watch it, and it's not, there's no thought about it. It is just accepted as it is presented.
Yeah. Well, and that's, like I said, that's that all falls in that realm of, like, everyone, furry or non-furry, we tend to just, it's easier to tell a story with animal people. Well, or animals in general.
Also,
almost
yes.
Always. It's a weird thing we have.
For this remaining part of Instagib, I'm going to move us over to the general chat, and if anyone else is still watching and wants to join and blab, you can see we have moved to some Instagib and some jumpy bullshit. So I'm going to move us over really quick. Okay. There we go.
Hot dog.
Mr. Gilbert's.
What up?
But yeah, if you have not seen it, I recommend you all go see it. It's linked in the tweets and what have you. I was really bad and didn't do a blog post for this and have it all put together.
It's all good.
I don't know. I mean, it'll be here. I'll be tweeting about it, but I guess this is just sudden, but probably not surprising. I don't know. But next week, DooM will be the last DooM for a while. I don't know if another stream or idea is going to replace it, or if I'm just going to take a break from the weekly Sunday stream, but I'm going to be doing that. So, Chris, thank you for being the second to last person on here.
The penultimate guest.
The penultimate guest.
I have pen, there's pen, and then there's ultimate pen. You guys
There's
want to play
pen
some
testing,
ultimate?
and then there's pen guesting. I am the guest penis in this porno. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. Oh, you fragged me good.
I did. Pen testing.
And
Who was
testicles. Wait, what the?
No, I didn't mean to do that. God damn it.
Just turn off the game because you were losing.
No, I was winning.
I respect
actually.
that. I respect that 4-year-old energy.
Yeah, I was losing, and now I'm still losing. Woo!
Do I not like this MO person? I don't remember. Don't they usually say shitty things?
I recognize MO. I don't know if they're a shitty person or not.
I'm fairly
I know
certain they're
we've seen
gonna
them
say
multiple times,
something terrible, and then I'm gonna ban them again. I just don't remember.
Well, at least the name does not instantly bring up Griefer in my brain, so...
Well, yeah, they're... to a certain extent, I wish they did, because then it's very quick to ban. I want them to make my job as easy as possible. I don't want to have to, like, be... Oh, they're surprise shitty or anything.
It is easier when villains wear a mustache. You're like, okay, so like you're a for real villain. Got it. Cool.
It's like mustachio is.
Like, what's your name? Evil McLove Rape? Got it.
Wait, what?
Jeff Bezos.
Right?
Done.
Let's see what I did there.
Kid. It's an evil.
And you're like, whoa.
Oh, butt stuff.
Ah, dang it.
Steve Hitler.
Steve Hitler. Hello.
So yeah, we've gone from talking about Chris doing a wonderful furry queer we're awesome thing to
Steve Hitler.
Steve Hitler.
I
Such
want
is the
Steve Hitler to
swinginess
actually
of
be.
this.
I want Steve Hitler to be like a really nice person who's just like, look, I know, I'm well aware. I don't blame you, but I promise it's just like a family name, like it's a surname thing. I'm sorry. I want to get it fixed, but they won't even let me in the building. Just like, sir, don't joke around. No, my real name is Steve Hitler. Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
Will you at least look at my ID? No.
You know, you shouldn't be joking about things like that. No, I agree. I 100% agree.
That's so Hitler.
No,
That's so
do not.
Hitler.
No. Incorrect. Not allowed. Oh, I lost my streak. Damn it.
Führer, Führer, Führer in the house. Yeah, it's a genocide every week, baby. Führer, 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 check it out.
Why? Why?
Anyways, sorry, I got really distracted by Corey in the house.
Go
but
watch Chris's stuff. I promise it doesn't have Hitler in it. At least not this one.
No, I mean, I don't know that I would ever make a video like Chris meets Hitler. I mean, it might
Bang,
be
done.
no,
5
no,
second
I don't,
film.
I don't think I could do that correctly. I don't think I'm smart enough. I'd be like, Chris meets Hitler, and I don't even know what I would do for that storyline. I'd be like,
See, I'm conflicted because on the one half, I think we should stop talking about it, but on the other, I'm like, no, Chris, you are smart enough to do a Hitler
Chris
bit.
meets yeah,
Chris, I believe.
I believe
And then like
in
there's
you.
this third half because I'm good at math. That's like, no, really, don't encourage that.
You know what? You might be able to, but you don't have to.
Yes, I do believe that is the statement I want to say. Chris, I do think you are in fact smart enough, but we agree, don't.
But we agree. It's not. No, you don't need to do it. You don't need to prove yourself.
That is not one of the proving grounds battles I think you should spend your energy on. You get like 10 proving grounds battles in your life, and no, the big H shouldn't ever be one of them.
It's not your fight. It's not worth your time. He's not worth it, bro. He's not worth it. You're like holding me back from the computer. No, I can do it. I can make a Hitler video. It'll be fucking hilarious. No, I bet you could. I bet you could make a Hitler video. I bet you could. No, let me do it. I'm gonna do it. Dude was talking shit about my mom. I gotta do it. No, Chris, Hitler isn't worth it.
Dr. Q, Larry Beria, and then my favorite, Kevin Pol Pot.
Kevin Pol Pot. Oh, speaking of supervillains, so forever ago, Uber when Uber got busted with all their rape data.
Wait, what?
Okay, so this is a long time ago, like probably like I think maybe Uber's like second year of production. There was a big leak of like PDF of just like how many like if you go into Uber's like complaint department like data section or data server and just looked up the word rape, how many like things were tied to rape. And it was something of like 50,000 or like 50,000 within a year complaints of rape or sexual assault. And Uber's official response was like, that's an unfair assessment because it doesn't include people's names like Jason or what the hell was it? I'm trying to think of who they used like an actual actor. It was like, what's the dude's name? Bateman or
Jason Bateman?
Jason Bateman or something like that. It was like
I thought it was John Bateman.
Yeah, but it was like for people like Bateman or like and then fuck, I wish I could remember now. It was like a genuine answer. It was like, oh yeah, I guess that is just in them. I guess rape is just in their last name. But because they needed to give another one, because I guess you can't just give one example. They invented a supervillain named Jason Rape.
So
yeah, they were all...
Well,
Don
there was-
Draper, that's what it was. They were like, it doesn't incorporate names like Don Draper or Jason Rape. And you're like, dude, you should have walked away after Don Draper.
Yeah, like, you got it. You won. You figured it
Yeah.
out. You walked the line.
Bullshit excuse, but at least like you found a real example where people would be like, okay, that's like a real example. But then you had to invent the worst Marvel villain ever.
There was an application that came at when I was at the CME group, and his resume, like, on paper looked fine, and I'm like, let's talk to him. And then my boss and another person at the time were like, we're not talking to this guy. We can't hire this guy. Why? Because his last name was Shitole. However it was pronounced, it was only ever read as shithole.
Oh.
And, like, legitimately, the crime of discrimination based on the name, I watched the resume get thrown out.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So, like, if your name is unfortunate and you have to participate in capitalism, fucking change it.
Yeah, really.
Or you use it as a test to see, who's shitty and who's not, which
Yeah.
you'll
that's
never
true,
fully
too.
know.
I mean, shithole. That sounds like it might be. I guess it would probably get boring after. Definitely would get tired after a while, I'd imagine. But still, at least for a little while, being like, no, it's pronounced like shital.
Well,
And
we
you're like,
assumed
yeah.
it was, like, shitole or something. And, like,
Yeah.
if you just don't think about it and don't give into it, it's not a fucking problem. But no.
Absolutely not.
For my fucking boss and the lead, they were fucking man-children and were in control. They exerted power poorly.
That is bad. Like I said, it's definitely bad where it's like. But I mean, also, I guess if they knew they weren't going to be able to respect this person, it's good that they were self-aware enough to put that together. I guess.
I mean, they were self-aware enough to know it's like, oh, we can't have a guy named Shithole. And, like, I'm sitting there going, well, but that's not his name. And that didn't matter.
Right.
So, what do I want to say? Don't give them an ounce of fucking credit ever.
That's fair. You're right.
These are white guys at the world's largest trading exchange. They are basically cartoon villains.
That's fair. You're right. There are a couple of Jason Rapes. I get it.
I am both happy and upset you brought it back to that. We brought it full
these
circle
guys.
to Jason Rape.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Couple of Jason Rapes over here. Look at them.
Maybe it's good that Doom is ending next week after all.
Dragger, I wanted to, just for 1 second, I actually end up looking up into why I can always tell the clone is different from you.
Yeah, the clone doesn't get the first place marker.
No,
Whoa.
like, here. I'll put this in the Discord and you'll
you see
what I mean.
Whatever. I don't care.
But apparently, according to like really old posts and forums, it's something to do with this specific monitor, or this specific model of monitor.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because like when I take a screenshot, it looks perfectly normal, but in person it is actually like all white pixels because I guess there's some effect on the character to tell the clone apart from the real person.
Yeah, there's some alpha channel bullshit. You're seeing what I'm seeing, sort of. Like, it looks blue to me because you're supposed to see your own. But, bots. Oh, I gotta add bots, don't I? I do.
You gotta be an alpha channel. Don't want to be a beta channel.
God damn it.
Bro, I'm a Sigma
Interrupting
channel.
there. I just really wanted to tell you that before we all completely forgot.
Damn it, Chris, stop cucking my graphics.
Been opacity pilled.
Opacity pilled! No!
You gotta get opacity pilled. So
I
you
mean,
can be Sigma
technically-
channel.
Technically, you could still call that black pilled.
Oh yeah, you technically could.
God damn it. Damn it.
All right. Oh, I should ask. How was your casual finger food racism with your family this weekend?
I had none. I was home. I was doing stuff on and off with Zargaz here, and then there was wrestling. There was a 1-hour Christmas show wrestling, and it was wonderful. Except for, well,
Did
We
you
don't-
or
we don't have to
Zargaz
go
win?
with
The wrestling. Who won the wrestling? You or Zargaz?
technically
I think it's the
Zargaz
idea.
because Zargaz didn't watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I always win.
Now I'm just
That's my way of saying
imagining-
I'm not completely pleased with the outcome of the show last night. I know why they did it, and I got to give it a chance, but
Oh, it was
yeah.
a show.
no, you don't always get what you want, as the Rolling Stones have sang for 50 years.
that is true.
But
For some reason, I thought you guys were actually referring. I mean, you folks.
considering
Oh, you weren't doing a bit? I thought you were doing
No,
a
I-
bit.
Oh, that's what they
No,
were
you were
doing.
just taking it literal. Okay.
considering there is the majority of the country in between us.
Wow, macro wrestling.
God damn it! Now you made it weird.
Couple big,
Oh, dude, you
couple
should've seen.
couple biggins just wrestling on the whole continent. Oh,
Pepper,
so
are you
cute.
still
I was
watching? You
throwing
should have seen what I
1,000
stepped on
miles.
with my grabby feet.
Oh, look at that. Look at him. You, oh no, you got him with a chokehold on the. Got him on the East Coast, the whole East Coast.
Look, the only way I can see myself ever getting turned on by macro stuff is if I'm doing something unsavory with Trump Tower. Like that's the niche, that's the pocket. Every
It's just
person has
weird.
one
The only
scenario where like, yeah, I think I'd chub.
Yours
like
is
something
revenge
they're-
porn
Yeah.
with Trump's
can-
dick monument.
I can make almost any kink work if it is revenge based to the ruling class.
I can get that. I can get behind that.
Oh, you can get behind that, eh?
I mean, I can macro out if I'm crushing a bunch of like rich people homes. I wouldn't feel bad about it and stuff. It'd be cool. They probably already have macro insurance.
Oh, Jesus.
I always thought about the world of macro porn, where like the insurance policies that would absolutely be complicated as shit, and how they would find ways to ruin it. Like, so you got macro insurance, but you actually didn't have the like dragon clause, and it looks like the tail of a dragon is actually what crushed your property, not the tiger. Not,
You're
not
right.
Their
We
tiger
didn't have
mate.
the dragon claws. We had the dragon tail, and that's why it's covered.
See,
No,
there
no,
it
no,
is. Yeah.
No, claws as in CLAUS,
Oh,
not
I don't see what Santa has
CLAW.
anything to do with this.
Old dragon claws.
CLUASP.
Oh.
Old dragon claws. He comes and visits you in the night and destroys your home while he bones your dad.
I just spit water. God damn it.
Honestly, I don't think I would mind that.
See? Yeah.
Oh.
I saw daddy
I prefer to
kissing
be the one getting boned.
dragon claws.
I'm honestly like, who wouldn't give up their house to fuck a dragon?
I would
you're
not
not
give up
too-
my house to fuck a dragon. I still need the house.
But not if the dragon eats you. Woo.
No, we did not say. How dare you unconsensually bring Vor into this macro?
How dare you? I'm just saying, it's an option. It's a mobile home. There's just a dragon. It eats you. You're good. You don't need anything else because you had the ultimate high.
We've all met that pushy roleplay person where you have the negotiation and then things are going so well and then they force in the thing that's clearly on your no list.
Well, you
'Cause,
know,
like
we've
they're
all
so
had
close to they're so close to the perfect nut and they can't stop themselves.
I do appreciate when a nut is so specific that when someone is so specific, they're like, it has to be blue. Can it be blue? I need it to be blue. And you're like, okay, yeah. I mean, it's all the theater of the imagination, but yeah, I'll use the word blue. That's fine, I guess.
Oh my god. Well, and like that's how you clock people too. It's like, this is the 9th person that I have seemingly met that is supposedly a unique person that has these 12 specific steps in every goddamn roleplay. Like, you're outing yourself.
I also really like a case of when someone's like going off about something and they're like, yeah, I'm kind of down for whatever. And then you're like, okay, what about this? And they're like, actually, no, not that. And you're like, what about this? And they're like, no, not that either. And it's like, this? No, I'm not really. Well, it doesn't seem like you're down for much at all then, huh? It's the sex equivalent of I can eat anything and I'm not a picky eater. And it's like, no, I think you are.
It's like, either I'm learning what I'll do anything actually means, or you're learning something about yourself today.
Yeah. It's like, it's okay that you're a picky eater, just don't try to lie to me about it.
Or yourself, more importantly.
That's true. You don't need to piss on anyone's shoes and call it rain, or whatever that phrase is.
Yeah, don't pee on my shoes and tell me it's raining.
That's it. Unless you want
Judge
into that.
Judy
'Cause I'd be fine with
popularized
that.
saying it.
Yeah, you can pee on my shoes and just tell me you're peeing on my shoes and I'll be into it, so it's fine.
Oh god, there's a line of things I want to say, but that I know I shouldn't, so I won't. But after we're
Okay.
recording, Chris, I will say them to you.
That's fair. But I mean, you can still. I'm just saying, Dragger, I'm giving you express consent to pee on my shoes.
Oh my.
I want there to be no confusion there. I need you to pee on my shoes. They have to be blue, but I'm down for anything. But as long as you're peeing on my shoes, then they're blue shoes.
If you've ever been in an elevator with Pepper where things are going hokey, one of the first things Pepper does is he designates the pee corner. And now I'm imagining the next time that happens, you, Chris, immediately and going and standing in that corner.
I'll do it. I'll be the pee corner.
What the
Was it?
fuck?
Yeah, it was with you, and it was when you, me, and Pep were playing. Well, we were commentators on adult fursuit games.
That was so
Yep.
much fun.
It was a lot of fun. We were all very hungover, but it was a lot of fun.
We were.
It felt like it was in a gymnasium, but it wasn't.
Yeah. It was in where it was at Biggest Little Furcon, and it was in the dealer den area with none of the other stuff in it. And ooh golly, does that change the feel of that room.
We had one mic attached to just a cord that was glued to the wall. It was fun.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was so echoey and loud, you had to turn the mic off, and it would like. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, the thuds. The thuds were
Yep.
absolutely incredible. Oh
Yeah,
man.
there was the one
if
bunny
this dude
that was
wins
like-
and then says a shitty thing, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's the potential secret villain.
I think he is, especially because I keep fucking up fragging him. Let's see, is he gonna do it? Here he comes, he's typing. Oh, there's the arrows, okay.
He seems okay. He would just MO Christmas, baby. Just MO Christmas.
Maybe I'm
and
thinking of someone else.
right
or-
before he sneaks in, like 2 billion's a high number. Fuck.
All right, this is going to be the last map, and then we are going to shut off the recordings. That face, did that? Oh no, it's animated glowing. Maybe last map should have been it. Although I did just pop him in the face. So yeah, we watched, and by we I mean anyone who went to the server, the speakeasy, and or also a last minute politics patron, watched all 3 Matrix movies.
None of you are mice, so you can't call it a squeakeasy. But I'm mad about it. Can someone at least be a pool toy and you can call it a squeakeasy?
Easy.
Speezy.
The
Okay.
Speezy.
The
Look, someone get fur.
Squeakeasy and its pool
Yeah.
toy. Message Fur, say that, and then probably the next time he does a private stream, it'll be called the Squeakeasy and it'll be Pool Toy Fur as an icon.
That's cool. I
Or
like
I'm just
Pool
gonna
Toy
do
Fur.
a separate streaming instance and call it that, or I'll C-name it or something.
Well, he's almost
See,
always
name it.
full story for Neos, so.
Squeaky. C-name it sounds so bad.
Look, it's what it's called, okay? It's called canonical name.
It's the C name. Yeah, I get it. You don't want to say
It's
the
not
C
the
name
C
out
word,
loud.
it's the C name. They're different
Yeah, I get
things.
ya. I get
There are
it.
a
Yeah.
bunch of C names in
I'm very
here.
confused.
Shifty-eyed.
I want to deal
Who
with the
was
C
that?
name.
So I googled the name
Damn it.
MO Christmas just to be sure, and
Damn it.
C-names
the
have
only thing
teeth,
that
you
comes
know.
up is a town. So I think we're fine. So,
Oh. Old Christmas C name. So yeah, you were watching all 3 Matrix movies.
We did, and
Macrotrix?
I rewatched all of the first one, most of the second one, and parts of the third one.
Was this in
And-
preparation to go see the 4th one?
Yes. Well, Pepper specifically wanted to because he barely remembers 2 and 3, and I've seen
Oh, fair
2
enough.
a shit ton. Like, I remember almost everything about 1 and 2. And then the difference being the first Matrix is practically fucking perfect. And then the third one is just astoundingly bad.
It lost its way pretty hard. You got
Oh,
Cyber
pretty-
Jesus and Babyface and
Yeah.
like, if we're perfectly honest, it's completely okay that he didn't remember 2 and 3.
right.
Well, he only
You're
saw them
not on
once
much.
each, just as a matter of he's seen the first one a bunch. And then it's the second and third one weren't that memorable. The second one was memorable for me. And the third one was memorable in how betrayed I felt.
It's a weird choice, but yeah, like I said, it's entertaining. I don't regret having watched all of them. I don't think I've watched the third one more than once, but it was there.
This is like, I think there have been a couple of different attempts of rewatching the third one, and every time either there's something to do or I just straight up don't wanna, so I stop. Because
think
I
I would have
remember where
watched
it goes.
I don't remember if it was just how poorly paced the third one was, or if I was watching, or I have actually seen it more than once, and I watched
the
like a
third one-
weird TV cut of it.
No,
I think
the
I watched
third
a weird
one
TV
is,
cut of it.
Well, that too. The second and third movies are incredibly, not just poorly paced, but very odd. So, like, in the second one, you have the rave after, like, 2 softcore fights that aren't that high in tension, and then, like, everything's just out of order. And then by the time you get to the truck smashing into each other scene, you've had so many fucking fight scenes, you're kind of exhausted. And, like, the rave should have been an opener to Act 2 or something, right? Like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
and the third
Certainly.
movie's kind of like that, too. You're an hour in and they're prepping for this big invasion, and it's just... It feels like the movie's going to end in 20 minutes and you kind of want it to, and then it goes on for an hour and 20 minutes.
The reason you feel that way is because of Jaws. But yeah, by the way, just to bring that back.
Yay, Maz!
Okay. We could gladly keep going, and I'm sure we will offline. But thank you, everyone. Take care. I'll announce more, but I'm going to try and put something together for next week. It will be the last regular Doom in a while. I'm going to stop streaming now. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Chris, shill your stuff. Where can they find you?
Okay. The easiest way to find it would be on Twitter or through YouTube, and you just look up Comedy Bun, and it's there. Just look up Comedy Bun on Google, and you'll find. I take up the first like 2 pages, then we share like some links with like a weird German band, like a German sketch comedy group, which is weird, but whatever. But I take up the first 2 pages, so like yeah, just Google Comedy Bun, you'll find me. It's around, and it'll take you to any of those places. I have a Patreon if you want to support me finding garbage and turning it into art. Other than that, yeah, just go watch my stuff. And if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And that makes me happy because it's there and I make it and people enjoy it. And I am happy to help the world as much as I can.
Yay. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, Zargaz and Grey Foxen for being on. Tantru, Dr.
welcome.
Q, and everyone else, and Coda, and Pepper, and more in the chat. And we'll see y'all at least one more time next week.